Hello and welcome to the checklist cheat sheet workshop for connecting to wellness.com. One of the things that inspired us to do Connecting to Wellness program was Ray Vanderlaan's Faith Lessons, in which Ray Vanderlaan's a historian that goes around to the sites in the Bible and explains the symbolism and gives you a life lesson. And so one of the life lessons he was teaching was that God really wants people to influence their culture around them. And so, as a Christian, you have a chance to influence the world and to change your community and your family. And so one of the things that he would have them do after he did something great for them would be to have them make these standing stones, so when people saw them, they had a chance to say, hey, this is what God, my God's so awesome, this is what he did for us. We crossed over the Jordan River, and we're conquered the promised land. And so you actually have a chance to change your community and make a difference. And so that is why we made Connecting to Wellness.com. So Connecting to Wellness, everything that we're going to talk about today is on our website, connectingtowellness.com. All the checklists, cheat sheets for the adults and the children, how to score things, is all in there. Hopefully you've already watched the health score workshop. So do not believe your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God. You are not your own, you were bought at a price, therefore honor God with your body. So God wants you to be, removing interference to all the different wellness attributes, areas that you've learned about. Actually helps you connect to wellness, helps you connect to God and make a difference. So your health attitude affects your health choices, which affect your health, which affect everyone else. So, here's some patients that decided to lose some weight because they changed their attitude. So, do you believe your health care affects your health choices, which affect your health? So here's some of the wrestlers, the OVW, WWE wrestlers that I worked with for a couple of years. So they decided they wanted to be bigger and healthier and stronger, so they changed their attitude, so they got bigger. So that affected their choices and affected their health. So I had another patient who decided she was going to start doing body sculpting, and there she is. She changed the way she looked by changing her attitude. So one of the attitudes is, some people want to live in illness and sickness, and some people want to live in wellness. And a lot of people are living in this comfort zone where they really don't know where they are. They're really not having a lot of symptoms, but they're inconsistent in their exercise, nutrition, and health. A lot of people are living with, they're having some symptoms, are on drug therapy, they're having surgeries, they're not losing normal function. And a lot of people are living in disease, multiple medications, poor quality of life. So, we want to help those people that are in this area, and then we want to help people that are in good health, regular exercise, good nutrition, wellness, education, minimal nerve interference to keep continuing on and get to 100% function. And so one of the attitudes that leads to crisis and disease is that drugs are the answer. So if you have if you have a stomach problem, or you have a headache, or you have diabetes, or if you have sciatica, or if you have sinus troubles, that you're going to take a medicine. So most people can actually even can think of a lot of the drugs that they'll take to help these things. But unfortunately, this attitude is the third leading cause of death in the United States, over 250,000 deaths every year. And this is from normal medical care. It's causing these deaths. So, you can read through this. I actually just got the newest research on this, and this has not changed hardly at all. So, but the sad thing is, if you look at, at the United States, even though we have the more diagnostic testing and more medical care, and we spend more money, we're very low. Like, we're actually 37th ranked. So your health attitude does affect your health choices, which affect everyone else. So there are some people there that decide to change their weight, and then they can fit in their pants. So another attitude is that prevent interference to your system is good key to good health. So your health, physical, chemical, emotional. So interference to any of these areas will cause sickness and disease. So you have 6 systems to your body. All these are controlled by your autonomic nervous system. One speeds you up, one slows you down. So interference between these systems will cause you to get sick. One of the one of the things is that any interference to your vertebrae or the spinal nerves will cause the tissues and organs not to work properly, and that causes symptoms. So instead of taking a prescription, you'd actually want to remove this interference and then work on these things to remove that interference, let your body heal up. So your autonomic nervous system, one part speeds you up, the blue speeds you up, the red slow you down. So if this gets out of balance over time, this will cause disease. So, the goal is to remove interference physically, chemically, emotionally, and that will allow your body to heal itself up naturally. So when stresses come, which they will, is your body just, are you doing things that make you healthy, or are you not doing the things that, are making your body deteriorate and fall apart? Because stresses are going to come. So are you ready for the stresses? So you want to do things that are been researched and have been shown clinically over time that work. You don't want to do a hodgepodge of things from here and there that you heard of that you're trying. You need a system that you can do and be repetitive and check. So that's why we came up with the checklist cheat sheet. So you want to be to the point where the things that you do actually prevent the storms in your life that would cause damage to your body, that actually lead to a lot of just everyday crises. Sometimes you can avoid having a crisis every day if you work on your body and then actually prevent things. So that's why we came up with the health score, so people could find out if they were in sickness, crisis, average. So this workshop, you should have watched, or you can watch. But you come up with the health score using all these individual tests and the 7 wellness attributes. And so, and then you come up with a score, and then you'll figure out where you are on here. And then no matter where you are, you can use the checklist that we're getting ready to talk about to start moving toward wellness. So the question is, how are you doing on your wellness score? Are you moving toward wellness? Are you moving toward sickness? Are you staying average? Do you need some help? Do you need the cheat sheet? So this is the cheat sheet we're getting ready to talk about. So before you do any kind of program, you should always make sure that you're well enough to do it. So, we do physicals at our office, the Back to Life Chiropractic office, but we actually have, you should download this physical wellness assessment data sheet if you're in another, state or another city or another country, and download this and give this to your MD so you can make sure that you're ready to do this. But the nice thing about our program is that you can do some form of it in no matter what shape you're in. So this is the cheat sheet. So the cheat sheet, there's one master cheat sheet that actually is the activities that you need to do, and then there's another cheat sheet that has the prices and the companion forms that you need. And remember, all these things you can download from our website, or you can buy it from our store on our website. And then there's actually, it tells you how much time it usually takes, how many times the week you need to do, and it's actually showing you which wellness attribute it's helping. So it looks maybe a little overwhelming, and we do suggest that you print this in 8x14 paper, like the legal size paper, because it just makes it nice. But it's going to be nice because eventually you won't have to be checking this all the time, because it will become a habit. That's one of the nice things about our program, is it does become a habit. So, but we're going to go through this each little division at a time. So, we came up with around sleep time, either when you're waking up or going to sleep. This is a good time to do these activities. So, meditation is one of the things that can help you with your autonomic nervous system. So, and then the journal, prayer, affirmation, and the Bible is something we're going to talk about, and then sleep, and then the orthotic pillows, if needed, actually help restore the proper posture, takes pressure off your nervous system. So we're going to talk about this first. So, and then when you look at your checklist, you're seeing that, this takes about 7 to 30 minutes. This can take 70, 30 minutes. This can take 70, 30 minutes. And the orthotic pill takes 6 to 8 hours. And these are how many times you should be doing it in a week. So it's just nice because you can check them off as you go. And then hopefully you're doing this by yourself, but eventually you can do this with a group and you guys can check each other's sheets. Or if you're doing some coaching with us, you can actually, we can use this and see how you're doing. So meditation, you're using to try to, if you watch our Think Well workshop, you're trying to keep your brain from firing, and you have to do the negative. You have to actually do the opposite, and it actually helps you to help your autonomic nervous system. But one of the things that we really like are downloadable meditations. And so one of the nice ones is the christaudio.com. Has very affordable meditations, and a lot of them have the theta waves. The theta waves are the sounds of space, which are the closest thing to the deep sleep that you can do. And then it'll have affirmations and have you breathe. So meditation is one of the best things to help you neurologically. So another thing you want to do is journal, prayer, and affirmations. So the transformation journal is the system that you want to download from our website. It actually is a journal that helps you track your goals, track all your positive events. It helps you run your groups and your small groups, and it helps you kind of stay on track. But it actually helps you write. When you watch our Think Well workshop, it actually helps you write down positive things, and it has affirmations and memory verses, and all these things help you stop the negative thinking, stop the stress cycle, stop the inflammation, and start getting healthy. So you want to do that before or after you go to sleep. You want to do your journals, your prayer and affirmations. So the transformation journal is free. You just got to download it. So the next thing we want is to read. You want to start reading. It's very parasympathetic. It's an activity that helps calm you down, helps slow you down, and then putting the word, God's word, in your brain, and then when you act on it, actually stops the stress cycle and helps you be well, helps your nervous system. So it's good to get a Bible app or app that helps you read through the year. So next is the orthotic pillow. Now, if your posture's bad and you lost the curve, or you do a lot of activities where you're looking down that makes you lose your curve, one of the things you want in your spine is a curve to your neck because it takes all the pressure off the muscles and ligaments. And so a tri-core pillow, or a pillow that's actually not a memory pillow because memory pillows are too soft, something that puts a curve back in your neck is what you need. So, and then you just start off every night for 20 or 30 minutes on your orthotic pillow. That just helps restore that curve. So, why are we doing this? Dr. Hammer, famous cancer research states, I went looking for the cancer in all the body cells and found in the form of wrong coding in the brain. He concluded any cancer starts with an emotional trauma occurs. Now it shows that depression hastens heart disease, so they found an inflammatory chemical that inflames heart and blood vessels. This chemical is present twice as much in depressed subjects. Again, your thinking affects your physiology, and as you think, so you shall be. Optimists live longer. You're always expecting the worst was linked to a 25% increased risk of death before the age of 65. And then, those classified very happy had 55% fewer deaths from all causes and 23% less heart problems than those considered pessimistic. So on average, the optimists who looked at aging as a positive thing lived about 7.5 years longer. So that's a pretty significant finding. The strongest predictor of which men would get cancer decades later turned out not to be smoking or obesity, but rather the lack of close relationships with their fathers. Some more research why you should be journaling, reading your Bible, staying positive. Lack of emotional support was greater the risk factor for disease and death than smoking. The study found that those men who had reported being under serious emotional stress at the time of their initial exam who are experiencing financial troubles, feeling insecure at work, defending the legal action, or going through divorce had more than triple the risk of dying during the 7 years following the initial exam. To be under these stresses at the beginning of the study turned out to be a stronger predictor of dying within ensuing 7 years than medical indicators such as high blood pressure, high concentrations of blood triglycerides, and high serum cholesterol levels. So, functional MRI shows that positive empowering thoughts originate from the prefrontal cortex. So, negative anxious thoughts originate from the right. So, prefrontal cortex. So, this study showed that if you decide to start being positive, unless you actually think a positive thought that's the opposite of it, then it's going to keep firing. So you've got to start reading and journaling and doing the things that we just talked about. So all those are very important. So we're going to move on to the next section of our checklist, meals. So the correct BMI calorie meal is for, you're going to have no acidic or inflammatory foods. Then you're going to do prayer and supplements needed during these meal times. So these are the things that you would need to do this: pH strips, Zyto, cookbooks. In between meals, we're going to do protein drinks or glycemic drinks. We're going to do proper meal ratios, breathing, exercise, and meditation. So we're going to go through this next on our checklist. So one of the important things is food is like the fluids used to run a car. You need to have the proper kinds of amounts to run properly. So you need the proper ratios of protein, fats, and carbohydrates. All this is in our Eat Well workshop. If you need a little bit more, but we're going to go through this real fast. So energy is food that you need macronutrients to have energy. And so food is a mixture of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. So proteins, fats, and carbohydrates are all different, but they're all needed in different areas of your body, and they do perform different things in order to function properly. So the ideal food ratios for health, this is the baseline that we use, and then we use the innate eating questionnaire now to help you change this a little bit. But just to kind of talk about this, we're talking a ratio of 40, 30 to 30. This changes on people after we go through the innate eating questionnaire. But this is just a good way to look at this. So you're doing 30 grams of carbohydrates per meal, 20 grams, and 10 grams. And so that's the size of the fist if you want to keep it simple of carbohydrates. And the size of the palm is protein, and the size of the thumb is fat. And so, so one of the things you want to do is make sure that you're eating the right proper ratios for you. And then you want to make sure that your pH, you're eating non-acidic or inflammatory food. So when you watch the Eat Well workshop, you're going to eat foods that alkaline you and then balance you out. So we test that by the pH balance. So, and then we know that certain foods make you acidic and certain foods make you alkaline. So you can download those forms on our website. And then the way you breathe and the way you eat, I'll do that. The Zyto is one of the nutritional tests that we use to see where you're out. So one of the things that's very helpful is prayer. Prayer, the way you pray and fasting are nice things to do as a group or with your church. But prayer and eating right actually start to break the stress cycle, start to remove interference, and start to to help you get healthy. So one of the things that we suggest is just, if you haven't done any type of eliminate, if you haven't been eating really well, then one of the first things you want to do is elimination diet before you start to really fast. So elimination diet is just eliminating like soft drinks or alcohol or nicotine or things that you just know are really bad for you, especially soft drinks and sugary foods. And then eventually, as you do this, then you could do the fiber cleanse or some other more higher, more intense fastings. So that is something that if you ever want to do with your church, we can work with. We have a nice program for that. So, but when we do our meal ratios, we're going to choose a ratio meal, and then the main thing is not to go over your serving. So, when we figure this out, there's a sheet that you're going to fill out that helps you fill your meal ratios. So, that's in the Eat Well workshop. So, but you're going to make your healthy choices by, if you're having 5 or 6 meals, you're not going to go over your ratios. But the main goal is first just not to go over your calorie servings, and then you're going to make the healthy choices, and then you're going to give yourself a day off, and then you're going to monitor yourself, and then it's good to fast and detox every so often, like in between seasons. So the meal ratios are important. You need to be eating your meal ratios, and then in between meals, then you're going to want to try to keep your blood sugar balanced and burn the visceral adipose tissue off. So you're going to be doing a protein drink. Some that we really like are the Ultra Meals. We sell those in our stores, and the egg white proteins. Just depends on if you have any allergies or if anything makes you, if certain things make you sick. But the Ultra Meals are great because they actually are in the proper meal ratios, and egg white is just probably one of the cleaner things to eat. You have a lot of different allergies. So Health Body, why are we wanting to eat the proper meal ratios? Because your body was made to eat these ratios. Because when you get out of these ratios, then you start to increase. If you eat too many carbohydrates, you'll start to make visceral adipose tissue, and you'll end up getting type 2 diabetes. So we need to do proper nutrition exercise to avoid metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance, which is becoming today. So the proper meal ratios, when you're eating, you're eating the proper amounts. The proper amounts of carbohydrates go into your system. They're used, the right amount causes the receptors to be used in your body, and it's used for energy. So, and then you're feeling healthy. If you take in too many carbohydrates and sugars, then you produce too much insulin. There's not enough receptors. It gets stored into visceral adipose tissue, which becomes the endocrine system, and so it just doesn't get into, it gets stored away in fat. It doesn't get to your systems that need it, and so therefore you feel sluggish and tired. So you get metabolic syndrome. So that's why meal ratios are real important, because you need some fats, you need some carbohydrates, you need some proteins, but you need them in the right order. So within between meals, one of the things we want to do that's going to help our nervous system and our blood pressure and our stress is breathing. So we know we have 2 simple ways. We have a simple way to do this, and that's just breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale and do this. You count 4, hold for 6, and let it back out. Or we actually like to use the ChristAudio.com. The 7 Minutes of Knowing God is like 7 minutes. It's a meditation that helps you breathe. We use some other CDs that help you with that. So now we're moving on to the next part of the checklist, which is work and home. So one of the things that we want to correct, remember, is our feet and our posture and arches. So orthotics, if you're standing a lot, if you need them, then you should be wearing them. So they'll run anywhere from $100 to $300, but they're custom made, and they correct the arches of your feet, which rotates your knees and hips, and keeps your sacrum level, which keeps your spine level, which takes pressure off your nervous system and your muscles and ligaments and discs. So if you need orthotics and you're standing all the time, or you play sports, you're gonna need to get those. Not everybody has bad feet, so not everybody needs those. So now, if you have improper posture, then you need the back supports for the chairs, or if you have sacral problems or nervous system problems, there's certain products that you need that you should be using. They're on our online store, but people need to do the right things to correct their spine. So when we talk about proper posture, the way to maintain this proper posture is sometimes using orthotics. So the next thing we're going to talk about is work and home, and just every day, when you're doing your activities, one of the things that was on our score sheet, if your score sheet indicated that you needed orthotics, then that's something you might need if you stand or work all day. So that's something that you'll have to do. Back supports for chairs. If you have improper posture, then you need to maybe use certain cushions or sit backs in order to help you maintain your posture. Posture is one of the keys, remember, while you're at work, to help you take pressure off your nervous system and your spine, your muscles and ligaments. So, and then water, you should be drinking 6 to 8 glasses a day of water. You should be drinking like half, 0.5 to 0.6%. You should be drinking 56% of your body weight, fluid ounces. So water is very important, keeps you from being dehydrated. And so the next thing that you want to do is cardio training. So cardio training, we break into aerobic and anaerobic. One is just keeping your heart at a certain level. This is all in our Move Well workshop. And so in the anaerobic, one where you're actually pushing your body, changing your heart rate, and then you're making your heart fluctuate, and then you're using different blood, more ATP and more glucose. And so in the very beginning, you want to do a little bit of both, but sometimes you have to start off with more of aerobic activity. So we actually have the training sheets in our cardio club. You can download those. They actually tell you exactly how to fill them out, and they're nice and easy. You just fill them out a little bit. You just fill them out each month. And then the anaerobic we like to do a HIIT training, and so we do 20 minutes HIIT where you work your way up and down. So all this is in our Move Well workshop, but these are part of our workshop. Part of our checklist. So you want to do the cardio training because you're trying to work on your cardiovascular wellness score. So here's an example of some of the sheets that you would get. You can figure out where you are, cardiovascularly, and then you just start off at the lowest points and start to work your way up. So our cardio club, sheets help you do this. So, and then we actually will use the HIIT to start, burning fat, burning the visceral adipose tissue. It's just a great way to burn a lot of calories and burn a lot of fat and do it really fast. So, but on our Connecting to Wellness, we have these waivers that you can fill out and get these forms mailed to you every month. So next is strength training. So strength training is in our Move Well, but it's so important to do strength training because it breaks up the cortisol. It helps your mind stop the negative thoughts. It helps increase muscle mass, takes pressure off your joints and muscles and ligaments, and it's one of the best things you can do, which a lot of people don't want to do. So strength training, we have several different ways to do this. We have sheets for just using bands. We have sheets for doing barbells. We like gyms and personal trainers, but the main thing is you need to be doing a minimum resistance, upper body, lower body, front and back. So you're doing your whole body, and you're doing it 2 or 3 times a week. So 3 or 4 times a week of strength training. So strength training is one of our most important things, but all these forms are on here, and so you need to be doing that. So flexibility, remember, is range of motion, and one of my thoughts is the key to youthfulness is flexibility. So flexibility is controlled by your muscles and your ligament strength, and so you need to be doing an intracellular massage device. So you should be doing some kind of muscle device where you can actually be massaging your muscles out if your health score showed that you weren't very flexible and your muscles were too tight. So intracellular massage devices are areas where you roll your muscles 20-40 passes. We have some videos on this on our website, but it's a nice way to give you a massage if you can't get a massage every day yourself, but it's just a device that you can massage yourself. Stretching, you want to do 3 or 4 times a week, and like 15 to 30 minutes. So, but we have sheets where It'll teach you how to do your whole body. We have short ones and long ones. We actually have an app now that goes with this, tells you exactly what to do and when to switch. And so stretching is one of the key things that you got to do. But one of the things that gets people in a lot of pain and gets really sore and gets them in big trouble is stretching. So it's one of the things that you need to do gradually and increase. And then massage, like getting a massage is one of the best things you can do. If you can do that every week, that'd be great. If you can do more, that'd be great. So, or maybe a couple times a month. But the more you can get that, then you don't have to do as much of these. But together, you need to do all this. So let's see here. Now we're getting to the nervous system. And so the nervous system, one of the things that removes interference to your spine, helps your posture, is chiropractic care. And so, it's always good to get an exam, and wellness exam, x-rays if you need them. Not everyone needs that, but you need to start getting treated, without drugs and surgery, to start, removing the interference to your spinal system, working on your posture, improving your muscles. So we recommend doing that 1 to 3 times a week or 1 to 3 times a month, just depending on your problem. So one of the things that we're really into when you're working on your checklist, is, and your score sheet, and with Connecting Wellness, is starting, to stay motivated. And so, do you have a purpose-driven life? God wants you to worship. He wants you to fellowship. He wants you to have discipleship and ministry. He wants you to go on missions. Are you in good enough shape, to make it to church, worship, and participate? Can you make it, to a fellowship event or be in charge of one? Could you walk a mile in Jesus' footsteps? Do you have enough time and money after taking care of yourself, to give to church? Can you tithe 10%, or is your money going back for sick care? Could you go on a mission trip or help out for several hours at a mission event for the community? Yes, I can do all things through Christ. So one of the things that we want to do with Connecting Wellness is to help you start getting better and then you need to turn around and help others around you to start getting better. So one of the things that, for me, I got hit by a bus when I was young. I was on a bike, my feet were strapped in, it ripped everything in my knees and my lower back and my hips. And so I couldn't move for months and months. I did blood thinners, pain pills, went to therapy, and I just could not get well. I was supposed to get surgery, went to the chiropractor, got adjusted, got things, removed some interference, got things starting to heal, and I was able to walk and do things again. So now, I want to, I know when tough things happen, it might take you a while to get well, or you might have to do several things to get well, but you should never give up. So, and God, and one of my favorite memory verses, John 20:19-23, when they were hidden they were hidden in the room after Jesus died, and they were waiting for him to come back. And so he pops in and goes, "Peace be with you. I've already conquered the world." So, here we are on a mission trip, and we're adjusting some people from Dominican Republic, and we're doing some soccer there. But one of the things we want you to do is, once you're doing better, then start giving back. So one of the things we like to do is use a carabiner. It has a light and a latch, and so as you make your health choices, because we said your health attitude affects your health choices, which affect your health. As you are deciding, with your checklist, like, should I eat this or do this? Is it going to connect you to God and help you make a difference in the world, or is it going to not do that? So as you look at your checklist, as you're making choices, is this activity I'm going to do, or is this the way I'm thinking, is that connecting me to God, or is that taking me away from God? So any questions? This is a lot of information, but you actually need to watch the other workshops, Think Well, Move Well, and Eat Well. If you're having problems doing this, some people already have a pretty good idea of what they need to do. They just need it organized and have a cheat sheet for it and a checklist. And then as you work with this, then you're like, oh man, I'm starting to see why I'm having problems, because I'm skipping 2 or 3 things, or I'm not doing enough of this, or I might be really strong, but then I'm not flexible, or my nervous system, or I have bad posture, so that's keeping me from getting care, or I'm not sleeping well, or I'm not thinking positively. But so this kind of brings it all together. It seems a little overwhelming, but eventually, this gets to be a habit. You really don't even need your checklist anymore, but it's good to pull it out every so often. And then if you start a group and then you're helping some other people, and do their checklist, then it kind of helps you stay on track because you're helping them do their checklist. And you're like, yes, like, I haven't been doing my intracell, I haven't been doing any, things for my nervous system, or I'm not wearing my orthotics, or I'm not doing my heel lift, or, I'm not eating properly. So, and then this is like, the nice thing about this is it has kind of prices, so you kind of see nothing's super expensive. Maybe one of the more expensive things for cardiovascular would be a Schwinn bike, because it's one of my favorite things. It's easy to do at home. It's very quiet, but they'll run like $200 to $400 for like a Schwinn bike to do your cardio and do your hits. But it's always nice to have equipment at home in case you can't, get out. But everything that we have in here and all the activities that go with this are all, you can do all these at home. So one of the things we like to do is give back. So we have our team mission, and then we try to go every so often. So some of the programs that we do help raise money, or if you feel like you've had some good benefits, you could always join a short-term mission trip, or you could actually donate some money. We have PayPal buttons and things where you could donate. So the next workshop that you will want to watch, or if you haven't watched, which you should have watched, is coming up with the health score workshop, which helps you come up and figure out where you are. That's one of the things. Or if you have a group of people, that's what you would want them to start watching. And then you're watching the cheat sheet. So this is one of the nice fun games that we have. If you want to try this in a group, or with your work or business, or your small group, or your church, is the Get Healthy game. It uses the checklist and the score sheet, and helps you start to improve these. And then you set your time, you choose prizes, and then you do your time and see how much you've improved or how much weight you've lost. And it's all nicely organized, but it's just kind of fun way to do that. Then we have the Waiting for the Great Commission. Don't look at that. I misspelled that. We've corrected that. But with our church, we have the Waiting for the Great Commission, because we see as you start to get healthy, it's a great witness, because people, like with the Standing Stones, as people ask you, what are you doing to get so healthy? And then it just lets you go in, hey, I'm doing this Connecting to Wellness program, and then you can start to witness to them and people around you. But one of the things you can do, if you can get a little group of people, you can actually do these, and then you can donate money for how much weight you've lost, or for how many, like what's improved on your health scores. So it's a nice thing to do. So then if you're just having a terrible time, you're trying to do it on your own, but it's not working, sometimes it's good to hand over your keys and let someone else drive your body for a while. So Connecting Wellness Get Fit program, there are some programs around that are really good. If you're local where we are, we have a Get Fit program that does all this and teaches that to you. And there's some other similar things around. And then, we have the Connecting Wellness coaching, in case you're just having a problem, or your group's having a problem. We can help you do the score sheets and the checklist, and help you get involved, because eventually, this should become a habit, and you should be able to do it on your own, and then you should just be able to plug other people in. So, but it's not that much, but we charge a certain amount a month, and we just hook up and we'll go over this, and we use the cheat sheets and checklist to get you going, and then point you in the right directions. But this isn't necessary. You could do this all on your own. Everything's on this website, every form, every video. So, but Connecting Wellness Coaching, you can sign up for it, or get your group to sign up for it for a while.